gems, welcome back to my channel. It's Crystal. So glad that all of you are here. So glad to see you. So yeah, really excited for this topic. So let's just begin, right? So today we will be discussing the dark feminine and the light feminine, and also we will be discussing how to become a femme fatale or a dark feminine leading woman. And it's not exactly what you think it is, so be sure to stay tuned. All right, let's do a little introduction on the subject matter. So, being embodied in your goddess energy is achieved when you balance both your light and dark feminine energy. So, all women on this planet have dark feminine qualities as well as light feminine qualities inside of them. So the key is to discover both sides and familiarize yourself with both sides of your feminine energy or your feminine identity, and to maneuver between both depending on the situation that you find yourself in. So there are really more than 7 feminine archetypes, but for the purposes of this video, we'll be focusing on the 2 main feminine energies, which are the dark feminine and the light feminine. Be sure to keep in mind that energy is felt. It's not explained. So this is not a wordy process where you have to go around telling people the type of feminine archetype that you are. You know, like, they're going to feel it if you really do the internal work, and if you give time to this process. You have to focus on your energy, not your words and what you can say you are and the external and dressing, like whatever. It's really an energetic work that you have to do to cultivate your feminine goddess energy. So you really have to encompass these qualities internally so that they can kind of seep through your pores. You should aim to be balanced and leveled enough to be able to allow each energy to flow through you, keeping in mind what's going to serve you best in the scenario that you find yourself in. I do want to preface this video by saying being too much in your light feminine or your dark feminine can be disastrous. So the key is balance. We should aim to be balanced through this process. So let's begin. So at this time in the video, we'll be discussing some dark feminine traits. Yeah. So the dark feminine, she is self-serving. She's selfish, seductive and sensual, magnetic, confident. She's very sure of herself. She's fearless, assertive, mysterious, guarded, intuitive, self-reliant, very decisive and calculated. She leads with logic and emotional intelligence, so she's very much in control of her emotions. On the contrary, the light feminine is empathetic, caring, passive, giving. She's warm, very warm energy. She's nurturing, innocent, flirty, as opposed to being seductive. She's more flirty, airy, loyal. She's self-denying, compassionate, forgiving, playful, lighthearted, soft, indecisive, and overall, she leads with her heart. So she's very much the woman that will wear her heart on her sleeve, which can lead to her being emotional. So she kind of lacks emotional intelligence, right? So those are some qualities of the dark feminine and the light feminine. So let's describe these archetypes energetically, right? So the dark feminine is a bit intimidating. She's more defiant. She's kind of like a self-contained free spirit because she has a vision of her desired lived reality. So she's driven towards that cause, and she's authentic. She can be spicy, and she's the type of woman you hate, like you hate her. She's the type of woman you hate to love her, and you just love to hate her, right? But you love her, but it's like, you know. Energetically, the light feminine is the safe woman. She's very much an ingenue. She's in her fawn energy. She's very submissive, angelic, like the good girl. Like, you love her because what's not to love? She's just a lovable person. At this time, we will be describing the dark feminine and the light feminine in social situations. So, the dark feminine seeks people out who are aligned with her high standards and her desires for self service. She's more than okay with not being liked or not being the picked one or the favorite because she's sure of herself and she knows who she is. So she doesn't really seek external validation as much. Although, I mean, we are all human beings, so we cannot deny that we all seek some level of external validation from others, from the group. You know, like that's very much embedded in our DNA. That's how we've survived for this long. We have to be accepted by society and by the group. However, it's not that important to her to be accepted by everyone. You know, like she understands that she can be kind of like a hard pill to swallow, and she's at peace with that. So, socially, the light feminine craves being accepted by others. She craves the external validation. Keyword craves. Like, this is her driving force in her life to have that validation and acceptance from others. She's a bit unsure of her self-concept, so there's that. The light feminine prioritizes not offending anyone or stepping on anyone's toes, and she will overextend herself beyond her limits in social settings. Now, we will be describing these two archetypes sexually. The dark feminine verbalizes her desires in a very straightforward manner. She knows what she likes, she knows what she wants, right? She seeks for her needs to be met, and that is the ultimate turn on for her, to be served or to be worshipped, mainly because it aligns with her self-centered ideals. Now, on the contrary, the light feminine is very much hypersensitive to the male ego. Because of that, she's a bit more afraid to verbalize what she wants. She's unsure of what pleases her because so much of her desire has been enmeshed with male dominance, male pleasure, right? She prioritizes her partner's pleasure over her own. So her sexual satisfaction is quenched or achieved when her partner is sexually happy with her. So this is the woman who lives to please in the bedroom. Like, if her partner's happy, it doesn't matter if she's having a good time. If he's having a good time, then she's going to have a good time, right? Very much centered around the male ego, by the way. I do have to point that out. We'll be discussing how the dark feminine manifests itself in relationships. So the dark feminine energy is more likely to walk away if the relationship lacks respect or isn't aligned with her wants or desires. Again, she's always referring back to her high standards. She is loyal to her standards and her self-preservation. The dark feminine understands the power and value of her energy, as well as the absence of it. So she will redact her energy from the relationship whenever necessary and redirect it inwardly. If she's not being appreciated or if she's not being heard, she will just simply remove herself from that place. The dark feminine, she still has autonomy over her life choices, even though she's in a relationship. She upkeeps her looks. She's on top of her self-care. She pampers herself. Her feminine pampering is still going. She does not abandon her self-care or her individual wants or goals in her personal life. She maintains her friendships outside of the relationship. She reflects the energy and treatment that her partner gives her in order to prevent ever being in a position where she's taken advantage of. Also, she gives her partners the illusion of control. Like, she makes her partner believe that he controls her when it's really her that is pulling the marionette strings. So, in relationships, the light feminine often loses herself, right? Like the light feminine is loyal to a fault. She, even if the relationship is destroying her, like she will not leave. She's very much loyal, and her needs get placed on a back burner as soon as she enters a relationship. She starts to let herself go, abandon her feminine self-care. She takes on the responsibility of fixing the relationship. She submits and trusts her partner to a fault, which often leads her to being resentful, because this this loyalty, it's just so strong, and it's just so undeserving that it's often not reciprocated, and that can lead to resentful feelings in the light feminine. She invests way more in her relationship than her partner in hopes that the feelings or the effort will be reciprocated, but it never is. It rarely is. And she gives up control in her relationship. She gives up autonomy, her goals, her career goals, her dreams. It's now kind of being laid by the wayside, and she just doesn't have a life outside of her partner. Keeping in mind relationships and these two energies and how they manifest. If a woman in a relationship is just not being treated well, the dark feminine reaction would be to walk away quietly, remove her energy from the relationship. She'll remove herself energetically as well as physically from the relationship. She doesn't try to change her partner. She's not going to over-explain or even say anything. She will just be gone. And the light feminine reaction to not being treated well in a relationship would be to explain yourself over and over and over again, have the same arguments over and over again, and give more chances, give more energy to the relationship, try to save it, try to change her partner, you know, and it's just a lost cause. Another example I just thought of is if a woman is on a first date and a really crass comment is made, the dark feminine reaction would be to address it head on or leave, depending on how bad the comment was. And if it conflicts with her high standards, then yeah, she will just leave. And the light feminine reaction to that would be to kind of like nervously laugh, you know, and just maybe not say anything, or if they say anything, it'll be really like passive and very much like tongue in cheek, you know, very passive. Oh, and also in relationships, the dark feminine will emotionally detach quickly. So now that we've familiarized ourselves with both the dark and light feminine, I will be giving you tips on how to become a femme fatale, or a dark feminine leading woman. So number one, you must let go of your people-pleasing tendencies. I have lots of videos on my channel describing how to be less of a people pleaser, so go check it out. This is something you have to learn if you are on any kind of self-development journey. You cannot be a people pleaser. Like, it will literally impede your feminine journey, self-development journey. If you're trying to up-level your life in any way, it's just not going to work. You cannot be a people pleaser in this life. People pleasing will literally sabotage any kind of feminine journey you're on. You just can't do it while you're being a people pleaser. The second tip for becoming a femme fatale is you have to be okay with being labeled the B word, being labeled mean, selfish, all of those things that dark feminine leading women are labeled. You have to embrace it and you have to welcome it. If you're being called those things, that means you're doing an excellent job. So keep going. Number three, you have to establish and enforce boundaries. Have high standards, and don't let anyone make you feel guilty for wanting the things and going after the things and welcoming the things that are going to make you happy and make you live your best life. Number four, you have to pour into yourself and to make it a habit. By making it a habit, you will be setting the standards for how others should treat you. Pour into yourself. Take care of yourself. It's important to do. You have to do it for yourself so that you can attract that energy from others. You can't expect people to treat you well when you're not treating yourself well. Only you can establish the standard of how you will be treated in life. Number 5, find your voice. And I have a video about familiarizing yourself with your voice and making your voice more feminine. There's a lot of healing that goes into that, so definitely check that video out so that you can be educated on the subject matter before you continue this video. But yes, you have to find your voice. So sometimes as women, our voices can be blocked, or our throat chakra can be blocked by trauma associated with, okay, well, first of all, okay, we're finding our voice. We're talking about finding our voice. So oftentimes having a blocked throat chakra can impede your voice. So your chakras are energy centers all over your body, and your throat chakra is really located here. Your throat chakra can be blocked by trauma associated, but not limited to, being silenced, repressed anger, even fear of self-expression. So yeah, anything having to do with that will cause blockages in your chakra energy. So in your throat chakra, I mean, how to heal your throat chakra or open it up or clear the blockages that are there, you can try scream therapy. Indulge in some scream therapy, which is pretty self-explanatory. You go to an isolated place and you let it all out vocally. You just scream, yell, cry, whatever it is you need to do. And I actually read somewhere that you should be doing this like once a week, and I know I'm not doing that, and I don't think anyone thinks of doing that. Many of us don't even have a safe place to just let our voice do what it wants to do, and I'm sure it can be very powerful. So you can also indulge in some yoga, some mindful yoga poses like cat, cow, the cobra pose, or you can try talk therapy. You can get used to expressing yourself with a trusted friend or a trained professional. Also, the throat chakra is associated with the color blue. If you're kind of like looking to heal that part of yourself, you know, blue is the color associated with that chakra. Number 6, you can be more grounded in your sacral chakra and your root chakras. Now, these two chakras are located really below the belly button, and sometimes they're combined as one chakra, but they really have characteristics that are different from each other. The color for the sacral chakra is orange and the root chakra is red. This area encases your reproductive organs and everything associated with it. So any imbalance of the root or sacral chakras can be associated with being closed off to spontaneity, feelings of shame, a decrease in sexual feelings or sexual desires or interest, a decrease in libido, essentially. Somewhere along the line, you were made to feel unsafe and insecure in oneself, or a deep sense of fear and anxiety might be evidence of an imbalance in your sacral and root chakras. And you can also have fertility issues because of this. Ways to remedy your root and sacral chakras are to seek pleasurable hobbies. Also, doing some grounding affirmations can help, like repeating to yourself, I am centered, I am safe, I have everything I need. Those affirmations can be incredibly healing. You have to do a lot of shadow work if you want to heal your root and sacral chakras. You can also do like yoga, hip openers, anything having to do with that area being loosened, opened, being paid attention to can be incredibly healing. Just do things that you like. Simple things like self-care, anything to make you feel relaxed and comfortable can be incredibly healing. Or even like movement. You can adorn yourself in some oils, get some lingerie, and play some sonically pleasing music, or your favorite music, or the music that makes you feel sexy, and you can just like dance in the mirror and pay attention to your body and give love to your body and admire your body. It can be incredibly enjoyable. So when your chakras, when your root and sacral chakras are healed, you will experience more sensuality, creativity, and intimacy. And you can also do like crafty, creative projects to help root yourself. It works wonders for you energetically, and it will be oozing from your pores once you give attention and heal these energetic centers. The seventh and final tip on how to become a femme fatale is to practice and master emotional detachment. Emotional detachment is a skill centered around self-preservation, which I always talk about on this channel. And the idea of emotional detachment is to kind of like limit your empathetic or the output of your empathy. So you're not just feeling for every situation. You have to limit yourself, your emotions. But I will definitely be talking about that in my next video, so stay tuned for that. But those are 7 tips to becoming a femme fatale. So have fun while you're on this journey. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.